Well, welcome to this little webinar on time management and dealing with pressure. I'm Mike Fermanis, and for the next half hour, I'm just going to take you through some things that I found very useful and for me being able to manage my time. And hopefully, you'll find them useful as well. What I try and do is get people to look at some of the things that they can expect when they start and learn how to practice good time management skills. What in general what people have found is when they're able to do this that they're a lot more productive, heaps more energy, because they're more productive and there's heaps more energy. They feel less stressed, and they're actually just pleasant people to be around. If you can think of someone who's always grumpy, you can find that generally they're always struggling to get things done. And so if you have good time management skills, you got to feel better about yourself, and because you're feeling better, you're going to be more positive with other people. So, there's that secondary thing. Not only do you get things done, but you're actually a heck of a lot more pleasant to work with. One of the things that you probably need to do is ask yourself some questions. Do you, and these 6 questions there, the big one everyone always asks is, or needs to ask themselves, is about procrastination. Uh, procrastination saves time. We're able to put off the things that we should be doing today and do them tomorrow. So yeah, it makes today look really good, but makes tomorrow a heck of a lot busier. But we'll talk about that later, a little bit later on. But the first thing with those questions and now is being able to look at yourself and ask yourself some questions. That self-assessment. Look at yourself in the mirror. Is this technical errors? Are there some things that are happening with the way that I've set up my business? Is it the way that I work with others? Is it the vehicle? I go out and is the vehicle always got a flat battery, or is there something wrong with it? Are there external realities that are just way beyond your capacity to deal with? For example, are you scheduling unrealistic schedules? Do you have too many obligations to others that make it a lot more challenging? So, in terms of that self assessment, it's always good if you can write some of the things down, the weaknesses that you have, and you just look at that and say, hey, be completely honest with yourself. These are the things I need to work on, and this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to make them work. The When we talk about time management, it really is simply about scheduling, the effective scheduling of our time. We have 168 hours in a week, and then so it's not a lot of time. But it's helpful if we know what our goals and priorities are. We know where there are unique things that we can't change, dates that are non-negotiables, uh, tasks or work activities that simply can't be moved. But we won't know that unless we sit down and we plan it and we look for efficiencies in that 168 hours as we plan our week. In terms of email, this can be a real killer for people. I know there are some people. I don't actually know one plumber who doesn't use email at all. He simply uses a phone. I don't know how he he gets gets his jobs and stuff like that. It just must be simply over the phone, and he could be a heck of a lot more efficient if he learned how to use email. But in terms of email, you can get caught up in that and checking it every 5 minutes, every minute. It's just be careful, and also about the number of emails you get. So there's this system they call it the 4Ds, and it's just 4 different things you can do with the email. The first thing is to do it. Second thing is obviously to delete it, and third and fourth thing, if it's not for you or if someone else can do it, delegate it, and then the final thing is, well, decide if it's a priority, and if it is or if it isn't, do whatever has to be done to it. But email, it can be a trap, and just wanted to mention that these 4Ds. Don't be afraid to delete emails if you think they're rubbish. Just if it's really important that they get a hold of you, they'll find you. Uh, so, effective if we're talking about effective time management skills, it probably starts off with a clearer vision and goals. What it is that we want to accomplish over the next 168 hours, next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever that is, over the next 24 hours. But it's about waking up in the morning and knowing, hey, this is what I'm going to accomplish today. And this is what I'm going to accomplish this week. So goal setting is an important part um, of time management. The next thing that we really want to look at or need to look at is prioritizing. Like I said, a lot of times we do the to-do lists, we write them out, and but very few of us actually go through that to-do list and prioritize the activities that are on there. What's the most important thing that has to be done that can't be negotiated off that list? Or if all else fails, what's the thing that I can't miss out on that day? So it is about prioritizing your list and making sure that everything in there first of all has to be on the list, and what order of importance it is to stay on that list. Another thing here that one of my friends is a really good mechanic, and he owns his own workshop. And I go up there and I take my car to him, and I'm standing there and waiting for him, and I just see all these people coming up talking to him all the time. All the time. And then he'd go work on a car, and I was just mucking around with my car. He lets me use his tools and stuff. And then I'd see another person come up, interrupt him, and just talk for ages, and then we'd get back to work. And I said to him, I said, hey, you can't go on like this. These guys are interrupting you night and day. You need someone else to deal with them, and so that you can focus on those things that you're good at, which was, in this case, fixing cars. Uh, and this saying is just perfect. The bad news is when you're interrupted, you don't immediately go back to the task. You can easily get distracted, and so it was with this guy. So he ended up hiring another person that dealt with all the customers, and he was able to focus on fixing the cars. Another principle about effective time management is delegate. Uh, there's lots of reasons why people are afraid of this. Some managers are afraid of us because they think that employees will end up knowing more than them. Some people just don't trust other employees to be able to do the things that they do. But delegation is really about creating mini-me's. You've got other people who are just as effective and efficient as you, doing work that saves you uh, time and makes enables you to do other things that's probably more profitable. But I find this thing here a little funny. There are some things that you can't delegate, and for you they might be negotiating the terms of a job that you might say, hey, that's all for me. In terms of delegation, when you're looking at jobs or that list of priorities that you have to do, there are things that you have to do. They're right there and right in the middle. There are things that you can do but others can help. There are jobs that others can do and you can help, or there are simply jobs others can do. So that I find that really useful in terms of going through the list that you have. You tick all the ones that are yours. Man, I can't get rid of those. I can, and then you'll go through and again, and you'll look at it and say, I can give those to this my apprentice over here. I can help him do those. Then he can do these other jobs that he doesn't need any help with. And so, by looking at at your list of things that you have to do, you can put them into those four categories. There was a saying. I remember this manager saying to me once, when I was a young manager, he said, "Delegate or die." They just simply is well, it's a little challenging sometimes to try and do everything yourself. This Find this useful. Tomorrow, if we look at it, in mystical land where 99% of all human productivity, motivation, and achievement is stored. If we go back to that procrastination thing where everything we plan for tomorrow. I think, yeah, I think that pretty much speaks for itself in terms of procrastination. And I guess the good thing about this is, yeah, don't feel like you're the only person on the planet who has this problem. Just 99% of the people that you know work in some whatever they work have this problem. In terms of interruptions, I did mention that before. One of the things that you can do if you feel that you are being interrupted is just get a log. And I did this once, and I wrote down all the times I was interrupted during the day, and I wanted to see, who the main culprits were. And I found that over 50% of the calls I was getting was from my wife, and the second one was from my son. And so yeah, that was easy to sort out. It may be a little more challenging if your interruptions are from your best friends or other people that come along and just want to see you working and just want to, you know, just talk about rugby and stuff like that. The I find the biggest, the guys that are the worst at this is your friends that work on different shifts. So when you're at home at night, they're working. So when you're at work, and you're running your own business, they come and they give you, they just, yeah, think it's okay to interrupt you all the time. Okay, in terms of, sticking with the procrastination thing, the value of 1 year, ask a student who failed a grade. I think this is really interesting. If you look through that and just read that to yourselves. 1 month, ask a mother who gave birth to a premature baby. 1 week, the editor of a newspaper. To realize the value of 1 hour, lovers who are waiting to meet. 1 minute, someone who just missed a train. 1 second, someone who just avoided an accident. A millisecond, that's the person who won a silver medal at the Olympics. Treasure every moment that you have, treasure it more because you shared it with someone special enough to spend your time with. And remember, time waits for no one. One of the things we talk about time and stress. I remember one guy saying to me, the last thing you're going to be thinking about on your deathbed is the report you were supposed to get into your manager. And so in our anxiety of being successful in life, one of the things we probably should uh, or that would be wise to do is to smell the roses along the way. It doesn't always have to be work, work, work. Work is simply just part of a day that we live. And you might do something before work and do something after work. I tell my employees that they should try and get up early enough so that they can do other stuff. And then when it reaches a certain time, they say to themselves, oh, time to go to work now. I'm going to go do that activity. And then when they after work, they go home and say, okay, I'm going to do some more stuff. And so it is, work is seen as part of a day, not the day, not the reason why we live. We work to live, not live to work. Lesson it takes some people a very long time to learn. Let's go back to this procrastination. Why do we procrastinate? Sometimes it's simply we don't know how to do it. We don't know the task that we're supposed to do, or it might be really, really difficult, something we don't like doing it, something we don't know when it needs to be done, so it's not really procrastination. We just didn't realize it was a priority. That's more of a prioritization mishap. We don't know why we're doing the task. If we could see that it was really important, or if we could see that it linked onto something else and as part of a bigger chain, then we might change our view on that and be less inclined to procrastinate it. Sometimes we think someone else is doing it. And then there's the old age syndrome of simply just forget. But you'll find, though, that some of the tasks that you do procrastinate, those tasks, a lot of times it's because you just simply don't like doing them. Some surveys that were done, if you look at read, the 63% just don't feel like doing it at the time, and so they put it off. And that's okay if putting it off is for 5 or 10 minutes while you go out and get a cup of coffee or something like that, or if you just doing stuff, but putting it off indefinitely and never really rescheduling it again makes makes it a problem. Okay, so with procrastination, probably the most important thing is to find out why we are procrastinating stuff, and then try and figure out what you need to do to stop that from happening. Okay, here's just a simple thing to maybe, this becomes second nature to people once they get it locked into their minds. So what you do is you take your to-do list, and this is about scheduling things. Helps you ensure that you don't procrastinate it down the track, or just simply don't do it. This is called the urgent important matrix, and it helps you overcome the natural tendency to focus on less urgent activities. So it is about helping you to prioritize stuff. So the first thing you do is you take your to-do list of tasks, and then you assign importance, how important each one is, and you might use a rating of 1 to 5. And this is a measure of how important that activity is towards helping you to achieve your goals. Because remember, today we got up and we said, hey, these are the things I'm going to do today. This is what I intend to complete today. This is what I intend to complete this week. So this is about what it is you have to do to help you achieve your goals. And once you've assigned importance to each activity, then you evaluate the urgency of it. And so you've got how important the task is. If it's really important, yep, I have to do them. It's not really important for me to do it. I can get someone else to do it. But it is urgent, so that's why it's green. It's important for me to do it, but it's not something that is really, really urgent, but I have to do it. So, for example, it might be I have to finish, complete my books, finish the books off. It's something that I have to do, but it's not urgent right now. It's not the 7th of July, so that can wait a little bit. There's an important task. You don't have to do it. Someone else can do it. Okay, so that's you delegate that. Or if it's not important, so it's less urgent and less important, it's way down here, just get rid of it. Yeah, just flick it off. It just will, if you see that on the list, you get discouraged that you haven't done it. Just get rid of it, get it off the list. So in terms of getting things done, some key things here. Focus on what it is you have to do. A lot of people get distracted. This one here, the second one with the jigsaw piece there, avoid perfectionism. If Windows had waited till Windows was perfect, if Microsoft had waited till Windows was perfect, we'd never have it. That's why there's always these constant updates. Okay, so avoid perfectionism. Like organizations don't wait to before something's perfect before they launch it as a marketing initiative. I'd suggest that doing plumbing, though, there are some things that you might have to get right first time, or something that you can, do half right and then come back and fix it. Otherwise, you're fixing a whole bunch of water and stuff as well. But there are, some tasks that we can look at and say, hey, this thing doesn't have to be perfect. Just, update the way you work. So look at the scheduling that you have, the way you do things. There might be some efficiencies there, some things you can do that would save you a heck of a lot of time. And one of them might be, I'm just going to answer my emails at night. I'm going to answer my emails first thing in the morning. I'm going to get a bigger van, because then it stops me going back to the workshop. If I plan my work better, I'm going to be able to organize getting the products that I need and the tools that I need for the job. So look at the way that that you work and the way that we do things. The one of the key things is to have realistic expectations. You know, if someone said to me, you know, say, hey, let's go climb the Great Wall of China, I mean, that's totally unrealistic. Uh, Rome wasn't built in a day, and some of the things that we, you know, it's good to put pressure on ourselves, but sometimes we just have to realize that we can't do everything. Set limits, and one of those might be, hey, I don't work past 5 o'clock, or I don't work, I accept my last job after 3, up until 3, because I have a life and want to make sure that I smell the roses along the way. So just some, you know, 5 simple tips there about the way that you work or the things that you do. Focus doesn't have to be perfect in some cases. You know, really, does the hole I'm digging have to be absolutely square and plumb perfect? So yeah, avoid perfectionism, update the way you work, look for efficiencies, look for a better way, a faster way of doing something. Have realistic expectations. Rome wasn't built in a day. Set some time limits, set some limits and say, hey, I'm not going to accept a job after this time because I need to be at home with my family, or I need to be doing things at the workshop. Okay, want to talk a little bit more now. Those are some basic tips there on what you can do to improve your time management. I just want to spend a little bit here about work and life balance. Uh, more than this statement here, more than a third of workers work extra hours in their own time every week in order to get their jobs done. That's okay if it's your business. You don't mind doing that. If it's someone else's business and you're working extra hours of your time to help someone else get ahead, there's a problem there. And it's one of two problems. Even the job that it might be the job that you're doing is way too big. Then you need to either, if you're employed by someone, you need to talk to them. Or if it's one of your employees, you need to evaluate their job size and just take some of the things off it. Or the second thing it might be is your capacity to be able to do the work. Because he just may not have the skills. And so you may need some training. If you're managing an apprentice or someone and they are struggling to complete their work, it may be training, or it may be some top 2 inches stuff where they might be distracted with some other things that they consider to be more important. But there needs to be, this thing here, work-life balance, and we've got to get away from this working extra hours just because we feel obligated to. Stress. There's confusion created when one's mind overrides the body's basic desire to choke the living daylights out of somebody who desperately needs it. So, stress is not, it's not always a bad thing, but here are some things that it does do. Heart disease, strokes, migraines, depression, overeating, ulcers. I know that when I'm stressed, I overeat and I don't sleep. But yeah, there are all these issues here that are related to stress. The in terms of stress, there was some study done in 2010. In the previous month, which symptoms have you felt in response to stress? 45% felt irritability or anger, fatigue, lack of interest, and it went down to number 10 there, change in appetite. It's recognizing in ourselves, I guess, that there are, what is it that triggers stress in our lives? What is it that that sends us over the top? And knowing what stresses us helps us to be able to deal with it. This here, just I guess again, in terms of past deadlines, it causes stress. Deadlines causes stress when we're not able to achieve them. Then we need to go back to the thing we pointed out previously about getting things done. Um, Set realistic expectations. Maybe we are simply trying to do too much, and we can't do it. And when we miss all these deadlines, then we feel, we're stressed out that we've stuffed things up again. So try and negotiate those, and that will take a heck of a lot of stress off you, if you can. Get rid of some of the pressures. And I know that we're all eager and keen to get work, but sometimes you might just have to say no or recommend one of your mates to go ahead and do it. One of the things about improving your time and stuff, your ability to do stuff and dealing with stress is about knowing when your prime time is, when your peak time is. It may be first thing in the morning, it may be last thing in the evening. I'm a morning person, so if there are certain things that I have to do, and I will get up as early as I need to get some extra hours in to get that work done. Find out when your best time, when your most productive time is, and manage your time that way. You'll find that it's less stressful. During the most difficult challenges, you'll be at your best, your peak performance. During those activities that probably aren't so important, for example, doing paperwork and stuff like that, you'll be at your worst level of performance. But that way, you're able to deal with some of the issues that come with not being able to get that sync those the things that you do at the best time, your best optimum time. So in terms of stress here, that this looks like just a simple cartoon thing there, but what it's really telling you or telling us is that hey, sometimes we need help, and it means you might need someone to come and relieve the stress. But they don't know that unless you tell them. People won't know that. People think that hey, let's just carry on. I can do lots of things at once. But the truth about multitasking is this: your brain on one task, 100% happy brain. Multitasking, man, it's stressful. It's pressure. Uh, so yeah, just be mindful of that. Sometimes you may need someone's help. Multitasking isn't, everyone's answer to dealing with stress. It's just makes it worse. So, in terms of, we call this emotional intelligence. If you look at that thing right in the middle there, emotional intelligence, which is all about how you perceive yourself, your expression, how you interpersonal is working with others, and decision making. This is all about stress management and being able to maintain, being able to be flexible, being able to deal with some of the challenges that you have. And I guess, optimism is always a key indicator that someone's, on top of the world and able to deal with some of the stuff that life chucks at them. So yeah, in terms of stress management, you look at yourself there, how you um, deal with situations, being aware of your emotional state, then how that's expressed, how that is expressed with other people and that interpersonal stuff, and how it affects your ability in terms of problem solving. This is what stress management is managing the challenges that we deal with. If we don't manage it, then it becomes a problem, and then we end up with those, the likelihood of those symptoms of being overstressed, heart disease, and so forth. But just like we have to manage people, we have to manage our vehicles, our money, we have to manage our own levels of stress. Uh, so in terms of harnessing emotions, I just thought I'd deal with this emotional intelligence thing here for a sec. These just some 6 habits of happiness worth cultivating. If you can pay attention to some of the things that are uh, happening around you, then you're probably less likely, as it says there, to be hostile or anxious. I think expressing gratitude all the time is pretty cool. And if you want to be stressed out to death, just carry a grudge on for ages. And I remember someone saying to me, they saw someone, I was walking with them, and they said hello to someone. And then he said to me, oh, heck, shucks, I forgot. I still haven't forgiven that guy. But he'd forgotten that he was, it was hard work for him to carry this grudge around. And sometimes he forgot that he actually was supposed to be in a bad place with this guy. And he said hello to him. Keep friends close. It's always good to have friends, and like that little picture there of stress being lifted off that person, it may be one of your friends that help out. And always, everyone says it, get the body moving. Regular exercise makes you feel good, and is overall a general happiness booster. And then if you can, it's always really good to be kind to other people, because and people think, oh, what a stupid idea. It's actually in the act of helping someone else makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you forget all the crap that's happening in your own life. And just for that, it might be just a short time, a 30-second or 10-minute, 5-minute thing where you feel good about yourself because you helped someone in need. Just some little uh, things there, some ideas that might help you to be able to harness the emotions that we have, and become more emotional intelligent, able to deal with the crap that comes our way. So that's our webinar. Uh, and I love this right at the end here. We're going to accomplish more in our lives if we make time our partner and not an opponent, not someone that we're fighting against all the time, but something that's there, that 168 hours in a week, that can help us to accomplish the things that we need to and want to help us to be more effective and efficient. So once again, thanks for listening to the webinar, and I hope you found something useful. Thank you.